Hey guys, so I'm back. So last week we painted 2019's bead, which means that, of course, this week we will be doing a bead for 2020. And full disclosure, I know that this was known as the COVID year, and even though it did affect our relationship a lot and we had to do long distance for over the summer and a little bit more because I was in Michigan and he was in Indiana, but we chose not to put anything COVID related on the bead since we wanted to focus on the more positive moments that came out of that year. So first up, on the first side, would be our first Valentine's Day together. All the firsts. I was so excited for it because I had never dated anyone before, so it was the first time I got to celebrate it with a significant other. And he knew it and knew that I was excited for it. And so he gaslit me the entire day, pretending that he had forgotten or wasn't going to do anything for it. I was kind of sad and kept kind of hinting at it. And even our friends pretended not to know even though they were so in on it. Because as usual, he is a very good actor and feigned ignorance the entire day until evening when we did our weekly date night. He played it off as our usual weekly hangout, but it turned out that he had written me a beautiful poem and bought candies for me, and he had even gone to Walmart to buy me this giant koala stuffed animal that I had looked at earlier that week. He's huge and larger than my torso and so nice to hug. I decided I needed to come up with a name for it and chose Brownie. First, because Keegan had a pet rabbit die a few days before that named Brownie, so I wanted to it was kind of for Keegan a little bit, but then we also had an inside joke of whenever Keegan did something like that for me, I would always say that he was earning brownie points. Because he's an English education major, and brownie points was something that our teachers always did when we were growing up. Even though we didn't grow up in the same place, but it's just something that our teachers always did. And that koala has been with us our entire relationship, and it's been with me through multiple bumpy moments in my life. When I had my wisdom teeth out, on the ride home, my mom had brought Brownie with me so I could hold him on the way home. I had to be put under and was really drowsy, and so it was really nice to hug him. And then I also got to hug him whenever we were on video call because I was at home. Well, because of the COVID, we were sent home, all of that. But moving on to the flip side, because we wanted to also add our favorite date spot on campus. We always like to hang out late on Friday nights, and since the dorm lobbies were always really, really loud and rowdy, and since it's a Christian college, they had more limited hours on when people of the opposite sex could come up to your room. So we would usually hang out in the lobbies, but if it was too loud, we would go for a walk. And on one of our walks, we discovered this really cool wonky spot on campus where they had added 2 staircase entrances on the side of a building. It was for aesthetic reasons to keep the wall from looking all blank, but it was just really funny because there was absolutely no door or actual entrance. They just made it look like it was one. So you would just go up 4 or 5 stairs, and then there'd be a landing and a brick wall on either side, and then it would just be up against a brick wall. There'd be no door. But either way, it was quiet and tucked away enough that we could have some really deep conversations. But it was also public and center campus enough that it didn't look bad if someone saw us there late at night. And so it would just became the perfect hangout spot where we can really get to know each other. And the concrete was definitely hard and cold, and now that we're married and have our own house, we would probably never go back there other than to reminisce. But that place still holds a very special place in our hearts. And we had so many conversations out there away from Wi-Fi and technology. It was just the 2 of us. And I think that's one reason we grew so close that first year together, because on that staircase we learned to be emotionally vulnerable with each other, and we even got to the point where we could tell each other anything. So that is the overview of our favorite memories from 2020. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back to hear about 2021 next week.